I broke the edge of my fake wand. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a year and a half. Not really. The last real videos we did were like the Hermione's book review, trials. We're gonna get back to that. And the lost things. It's been a year and a half battling off demonic shade from Brooke and Star. Oh, and Elijah. I had a web page. Am I even allowed to bring that up? Or did we delete it for good? She's still out there. You can feel imprints of her every once in a while. I have about 2 months of real deep astral cleaning to get her out. I have had to do a series of confessions on both Brooke and Star. And the only person that could help me with Elijah was Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. He's a very old soul that runs extreme amounts of Gaebra in the air element. So he fills in the demonic shade and burns it out. Like a master. That's Archangel Kamael. I've seen enough from Chris Pratt in the last month. There's no other Archangel Kamael doing anything. Isla's not doing that. Isla's a ninja. Kelly's not doing that. Kelly's doing Kuan Yin. She runs black, just like Isis Ray. But her black is with blue instead of red. Because it's Ravenclaw. When you look at Kelly in the pit of hell, it's like a black glob. But it's not like a glob of demon. It's like a glob of, like, friend. And then you see it speckled with blue. So you know she's not setting boundaries. But she's setting boundaries, but She's not running Gaebra against Loki. Man. Alright. Shadow grounding. I already tried to do this video. It's becoming very long-winded. This should be short and sweet in reality. Shadow grounding. Take a look at my Facebook from the last year and a half. Every single thing that was recorded was the astral imprint from the person I quoted. Star, colon. I'm gonna go kill McKenna now. All right. Here is reality. We live on a planet. That planet is Malkuth. That planet is elements in the physical world. All right. That physical world is living and still has thought. Ask a gemologist if a crystal thinks. It does. It's alive. It's materia and it's animated. It's just very slow. All right. It's growing, living thought. Soil is just a bunch of microorganisms. Gut bacteria, same principle. All right. So we live on this planet. Here's Malkuth. Now we have Yesod. So Yesod's all the energy to our highest level astral light, which is our Jesus self, our highest self, our archangel self, our angel self, whatever tribe we actually belong to. You're probably not going to get higher than an archangel seat on the tree of life, ever. You're never going to become omnipotent God. Let me say that again. You exist in a holographic matrix with other people, so you'll never become omnipotent God, where I am the Dalai Lama that is one with everything. No, that doesn't actually exist. Because you'd have to be one with the tree of life. You'd have to be one with what I'm saying. And then you'd have to quantify and understand Hathor. And now Hathor is the closest thing to that omnipotent God. That's just... Let me explain that. That's the divine feminine child of two of the highest ranking current ascended masters in the universe. So Hathor would be the daughter of them. So Isis is the high priestess. And then Hathor is the alchemical marriage of the highest priestess with the highest dragon king, highest high priest on the planet. So now you have an exponential growth. And you've created a child that's akin to somebody like Thor. All right. A mutant godchild. That's Jesus times 500. with Gaberah. Now understand that. That's Hathor. The self-obsession delusion of the parties coexisting in the Netzakian spheres are criminal. Let me say that again. My name's Goodney Goodison. And when you look at one of my pictures online and you see the clothes I'm draped in, I actually look like I belong in the Harry Potter movie, in the Slytherin family, in the family of Death Eaters. My skin is green with the complexity of Netzach, of rotted Netzach. And I charge you $1 million just so you can join my sex cult. And climb the ranks of our social sex cult. While the real Christ initiates on the planet are left to starve, or beaten, or raped to death by some of those parties in the sex cult. That's Goodney. I'm the Dalai Lama, and I gang rape people in the astral planes. And I get 30 monks to gang rape, monkey demon tantra gang rape, nuns and children. Maybe in the physical world too. I take no accountability for the astral imprints put off by the Dalai Lama. There is not 1 ounce of sexual disease or perversion in the Dalai Lama's brain or astral energy. I live in complete denial, and I am the king of the universe. It doesn't matter that Kali Ren feels my energy like it's an actual snake person lurching over her shoulder all day long. Patronizing her Netzach rot, old man demon issues. There's nothing fresh there. There's no magic or light or miracles coming forth. Not like coming from Lucifer or Chris Pratt. Marshall Mathers is Lucifer, by the way. Holy Bazzoli, that didn't make sense. God doesn't care if you swear. Yeah. That's my best friend. That Lucifer guy is the smartest guy on the planet, next to Chris Pratt. They run Gaberah. Their energy is fresh and sharp as a sword. They are thoughtful, intelligent, whip smart. They have insight and knowledge. They are exploring and living in the moment. Always seeking for new growth and development. They are always self-reducing to make themselves better. Let's talk about self-reduction for 5 seconds, because Slytherin doesn't do that. The Elohim stuck in Netzach doesn't do that. Isla joined me on the bus one day, in the astral planes. She's probably one of the thinnest, skinniest little ninja girl. She looks like Elsa. All right, let it go. Elsa. It's not like Cora Auntie Ray Ray who builds muscle every day, okay? Isla joined me on the bus and she goes, I'm not skinny enough. That's my skinny magic. And you could feel Isla. And you could remember all the times that you've been thin. And you go, that was the level of consciousness I had that kept me thin. It wasn't me telling myself that I was a healthy body weight and that I could eat whatever I want and never exercise. No, it was the self-reduction consciousness. It was the consciousness that said, I am not good enough. I need to actually do the real work to improve. All day long, forever. So that's something Star does never do. I've never heard Star admit a falsity. Oh, I lie too much. I'm not honest enough. I'm not mature enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm not fresh teaching enough. I'm not original enough. I plagiarize too much. Oh, I own everything too much. Instead of give it away to the dragons or the fairies or to betters like Lucifer and Baba G, actual alphas. Right, so self-reduction is a form of Gebra health. It's stick training for your brain. Ew, don't say that was good. Say it was bad. Then you might get better. Don't pat yourself on the back for that. Remember how pride is a vice of Tiferet? Gebra, you're not allowed pride. You're not allowed pride in Gebra. You know what you're allowed? Whips. Should be self-whipping. Ascended masters don't need to be nagged to self-reduce. Austerity. Oh, I need to draw that line 500 more times. Oh, I didn't learn that yet. All right. So self-reduction comes from higher levels of Gebra consciousness. And it provides health. I need to sound better. I need to never swear. I need to sound like a whip-smart ninja that can cut somebody down with a sentence and it be clever and unique and funny. And I have to do it improv. My words must be a form of art and inspire. I'm a master. All right, self-reduction. We get this, right? We'll go over this lesson very heavy in the empty vase video. So shadow grounding. My wand doesn't work. Do you see firecrackers crackling off the edge of this wand? No. Is it just like the broken tendrils of wood that is splintering off? Is that the extent of my power? Is that the extent of my Shakti? All right. So obviously my astral planes are not in tip-top shape. Obviously I'm not performing at real Ascendio level. Obviously I'm going to take on a name like Hermione Granger and then fall flat on my face. Because, number one, I'm like 40. I don't look like I'm 20. My wand's not working. I'm complaining on Facebook about not having enough money. My extent with my pseudo love affair with Chris Pratt is like listening to his astral planes and then getting to call him PETA and make fun of him a little. All right, like this is the extent of my power in my life. Awesome. So I suck. Let's talk about this again. Let's be very clear and very honest. Chris Pratt's coming through going, your body is too weak. Because in reality, the abyss crossing is point break level athleticism. Let me say that again. Point Break, the remake, level athleticism. Your Triss, your overweight Katniss that can shoot arrows and hit a target. Yay! You're not performing at all in reality. So where's your body? Okay, so it is my job at that moment to look at Misty, who is my competition female form. Not in pull-ups, but in just general athletic capability, okay? And I have to diagnose myself for being really lazy. It doesn't matter if I look like this, okay? I've got muscle. I can do plies. I'm thin. I'm fit. I'm a healthy, I'm a class A healthy person. When I walk down the street, there's probably not anybody in a better condition than me unless they're runners. When I walk into a room, when I go to a coffee shop, I'm the alpha body type. Okay? For Adam Cadman. What a low bar. So I have to look at myself and go, I am at baseline neutral to weak neutral in my lower body. I can do 150 plies without collapsing and walk an 8 hour, or not an 8, I can walk for 8 hours. Do a daily 8-mile walk. That's a healthy low neutral. And then, oh no, my upper body is just in muscle collapse. Let me explain what muscle collapse is. It's where you try to do anything, like a pull-up, and you do not even possess the muscles to work the muscles. It's just flatline, collapse, fall down. Yay, I'm Triss. I've got spiritual power. Woohoo! It's not in my body. The planet's gonna collapse in like 5 years and I can't do a pull-up. That's promising. We were educated and sold onto this concept of spirituality that didn't include the body. That's my abnegation life. Like my Hermione. I'm gonna go to the library and read instead of really work out. Instead of actually prepare, instead of actually do the physical mutation to be able to handle the Shakti, to move anything with my wand. All right. So I know my own self. And I know how much A&R work I'm going to be doing for myself forever. 5-hour days of A&R work. Oh no, I have to clean out my astral planes even more, and then I have to go work out physically and push my muscles physically. My chi body is strong. Yay! So just from that baseline understanding, I know where my body is from the pit of the Klipith. Now, we have the demonic Netzakians that have 0 Gebera. They have no self-reduction. They have indulgence, obesity. They have putrefied Netzach oozing out of their skin. They don't work out. They don't heal their damaged body tissue. They definitely don't heal their brain. Their soul and their spirit energy is producing and casting knife rape at people, or rape at people, or force channel at people, or death threats at people, or it's shooting people with guns and astral bullets. It's power hungry. I don't want to do that work. Get out of my way. I'm going to go kill your nieces because you out me. Oh no, because of what you say, I'm not going to get to eat. Not because they have masterful levels of work. Not because they have the appropriate accountability of their own energy fields. All right, shadow grounding. Take a look at my Facebook from the last 1.5 years. All of that was real. Star, I'm gonna go kill McKenna now. Instead of star, I'm gonna go do 5 push-ups now and do a page of A&R work. So her astral force is actively sending dark Voldemort Death Eater spells at people all day long through the pit of the Clippeth. Now let me explain the Clippeth. If you've had your blue marks bath, if you have enough of your A&R work where you've gotten your real Seraphim initiations, you have no Clippeth. I mean, you have it, but it's like neutralized completely to your physical reality. So you don't have shade. Let me say that again. When you run Gaebra and you've done your A&R work, you've burned out the demonic Netzach beneath your feet. And in your auric field, penetrating outward. So you come off as fresh and inviting. You come off like Lucifer or Chris. You come off like Kelly or Isla. And it's angelic, productive, forward movement from the hell pit. All right, so here's Earth, which is Malkuth. And then we have Yesod. Now, through the pit into the central core of the planet, let's say that's the hell pit, Clippeth Id. You have this underworld in Yesod. It reaches all the way down. It goes all the way to your Jesus higher self, and then all the way down to your super demonic shade that you want to repress and hide from. Because it's uncomfortable, because maybe you raped a kid in your past life. And then you don't want to deal with it, so it's just going to sit in your auric field like a rotting miasma. So instead of burning it with an A&R page, you let it fester and rot. And you make people smell it. And you make people feel it. And you make people cringe when you touch them because they can taste it. So that's what Star had. And that's what Brooke had. And that's what Elijah Wood had. That's what the Dalai Lama has. And Goodney. They have this Netzach rot. So you're forced to listen to it day after day. And they will never take accountability for it. They will never clean it. Hygienically, they're gross anyway. They won't even work out. They'll smoke and they'll stuff their face with sugar. Endlessly, and they'll get fat and obese. And they'll never burn or purify anything. And it sits and it rots and it festers, and it sits and it rots and it festers. And then they latch onto it, and then they engage in more demonic behavior. And then they make people sick. And they push. And they push. And they push. I'm allowed to completely take over her body. She's not even allowed to exist. I am the queen of this universe. I am the Dragon King by birthright. I am Osiris. It doesn't matter if my astral planes creep everyone out. When you Google Osiris, all you can look at is the creepy green man images. Make children afraid at night. You know how many times I woke up in the middle of the night to have standing leeching Osiris over my body like it was a demon. And you shudder at like the depths of darkness inside of him. Yes, he's brilliant on the light end and disease decay on the other. And he never self-cleans. Instead, he produces lifetimes like Aleister Crowley and festers and feeds off of that. Creates fame that produces horror. Oh, same thing next lifetime. Oh, probably the same thing the next one. Star had 5 lifetimes of being a knife rapist. An actual knife rapist. Where she was a predator. And it stuck in her Yesod body. So that when Gaebra hits, we get stabbed by her astral force that she refused to clean out. Her wand, her want is knife rape. Brooke has 500 FGM cases from lifetimes where she enjoys cutting out the clits of little reptilian children. Before they reach Netzach to even get to Tiferet. And she likes using people as her personal mannequins. I'm your alpha, I'm your alpha, I'm your alpha, I'm your alpha. So this is the consciousness that actual ascended masters have to battle and beat off of them. And out of them. I had to get so high. So high I'm running. I am so God, Mother Mary, Jesus Christ light. Absolute unconditional love for my nieces. Blinding light. At the same time as clutching to the pit of the clippeth. So that I can confess the demonic energy in these witches. In Slytherin witches. And it's still not done. And I'm still canceling them out. Because they refuse, profusively, to do any of their own clean out work. Chris Pratt. See, it's really easy when I'm doing it to a bunch of demon witches that I hate. To do it to my Egyptian marriage husband that has haunted me for infinity. Chris Pratt had to come through as Archangel Kamael to burn it out. He had to come through like he was Thor in the astral planes battling Loki. He's not Thor. He's Ares. But he has to pretend like he's Thor. And like Loki's nothing. It doesn't matter if all of Elijah's diseased miasmas are pounding my brain daily. Or the quality of life I have led for 14 years because he won't leave me alone, because we are bound for eternity. And then his physical self refuses it at the same time, so it's an endless drama demon cycle. Shadow grounding. Auror preps level 1. Remember the Yoda Balls video where I was like, you want to be an Auror? Why don't you learn how to Auror yourself? Here's why. When you purify and Auror yourself, you might get things like Confessor Light to come through when you're drowning in other people's assault. When you do your own work, you have muscles and skill to be able to Auror somebody. So this is not an Auror class. You guys are not. You guys aren't doing anything. The Tara is pretty strong and the Tara's doing nothing. Just understand the bar. Auror preps. The Tara's doing science projects. Maybe she'll help out with the A&R science someday. If we fund her. Maybe if she does it herself and is interested. Maybe if I get my wand to work, then she'll join the bandwagon. Does everyone understand the Tara? All right. So that's the Tara's shadow. Listen to that. That's the Tara's shadow. That's the level of shadow, of shade. I'm not popular enough, so she won't invest her time and money. I'm not skilled enough, so she won't jump ship from her current career to do A&R science. All right, that's her shadow. It's not knife rape. It's not rape. All right. Do we understand who the Tara is? The Tara's shadow is thinking that she Aurored Star by sending like a spell at Star. And then still left me to deal with Star for another year where I have records. Okay, so that's part of the shadow grounding class. I hear something in the astral planes. I don't like it. I know who it's coming from. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. It puts me in a very awkward position. I have to see diseased sexual energy from teachers or parents. It's awkward. I asked Lucifer Maybe I already shared this story. If I did, you guys are in luck because it's worth repeating. I asked Lucifer, what do you do? How do I pretend that didn't exist? If I repeated this story in this video, just keep going along with it. How do I pretend that that didn't exist? How do I pretend that didn't happen? Lucifer goes, oh no, I pretend it did. I pretend it did happen. And then I call them out for it. Because it exists. It's putrid, diseased, astral energy that is coming out of their wand. That's their Yesod body. And it's assaulting me. You could be like the elegant, wealthy, well-dressed, clean, up-to-date hygiene person walking down the street next to a diseased homeless person, and understanding that as a homeless person is like an assault or an affront to everything you've done. And then you can offer compassion, right? Usually those homeless people are not jumping at you with attack. They're not usually sexual predators. They can be. Many of them are docile and fun-loving and hippies. And then some of them stab you. Maybe with a dirty needle. Maybe someone stabs you with a knife. Okay? Just because you're a clean person. All right, so Isis is Cinderella. I am supposed to be the cleanest, astrally proficient. If the bar of cleanliness is where I present to the planet. So if I am not at the peak, there is nothing better. Guru Mai is not doing the cleaning at work. Kelly will. But Kelly will only do it in competition with me. All right, so Isis is Cinderella. The astral planes are as clean from Isis. And everything else is downworld. Shit travels downwards. So here's Chris Pratt. He will operate off the same level, at least in the male spectrum. In the astral planes. When we get to his physical body, that will be really nice. So he'll operate off of the highest level of healthy Gaebara and then produce a windfall of elevated consciousness. Higher levels of austere boundaries, and boy, is it right wing. It is conservative right wing. It is not liberal. It is Gaebara. Self-control, self-discipline, and self-mastery. Complete accountability for every single thought. I'm not allowed to go get an abortion. Do you understand the level of resources and financial drain just on the planet, just on Netzach, to go get an abortion? Counterproductive. counterproductive to my own karma. All right? I'm not allowed to go have sex with lots of people and go be a whore. God. Ascended masters don't behave like that. They're like virginal. Gaebera, Gryffindor, that's right wing. You want the left wing? That's Ravenclaw. That's not Gaebera. Gaebera, we're worried about what we hear manifesting. And we spend all our day purifying ourselves to offset any of the trajectory in the astral planes that other people's demonic shadow is pushing forward against us. Let me say that again. In Gaebera, it is our job to listen to every single shadow imprint being projected at us and take it into account and mathematically compute the level of gravity or intensity that it propels forward to manifest that specific energy. Everything must be within our power and self-control, self-reliant 100%. 100%. So that when I hear Star Fuentes threatening the lives of my nieces, I have to account for that. I have to write it down. I have to send it to them. And still, they will do nothing. Now I have to account for the fallout. Because they will do nothing, I have to clean it up. I have to take records. Now I also have to expose them. And now I have to count for all of the retribution energy because I exposed them. All of the argument and the demon cycle, instead of them cleaning it up, they are going to assault and attack me instead because I said something clear and concise about their own astral energy. So now I have to account for layers of demonic force behind somebody. So it's not just Star having knife rape karma. It's Star having knife rape karma, then me outing it, now her attacking me because I outed it. Now that's one layer of demon. Now I am attacking that, or now I am exposing that. Now she wants to call the cops on me and arrest me for exposing the whole scenario. She can't, so now she is going to psychically get the rest of the lineage to come in and stab me instead. Now we're about 3 or 4 layers of demonic assault. Instead of, oh yes, I'll go do the A&R work. Shadow grounding. So this is Aaron Sorkin's shadow. I am going to help Khaleesi write all the movies she wants to write. I won't show up in the physical world yet. I don't care if she's starving to death or being beaten to death, but I'll definitely help her write. So there's Haymitch. So he's a good guy. He's got some clunk that needs to be cleaned out, but he's one of my favorite dragons that loves and helps me. He helps me move forward. So when I relay his astral imprints or energy that he sends me, I'm not constantly second guessing myself. Am I even crazy? Because Aaron Sorkin's astral energy sounds like Aaron Sorkin. He's type A. He's very hode-brained. He is on the path of human evolution and humanitarian justice. He's very left-wing and right-wing. Left-wing, elevated right-wing conservative. Nobody's going to give you a handout. Ever. Maybe when you finish your scripts, I will look at them. Okay, I'm not Jesus. Do you get it? He's Haymitch. There's nothing bad there. That's just where he is. And when you do the proper shadow grounding work, which is like, I'm going to take records of everything everybody sends me, it makes sense. You know your position and your footing with these individuals in the real world. Here's Chris Pratt's. I'm Aries. I'm Jason Bourne. I'm Full Metal Alchemist little brother. All right, so he's not always physically present, and sometimes he's gonna get me shot. So I cannot rely on him ever. And I learn this when I do all the real Auror work. Just the preps work. Write down everything that they send and then take records and account for their behavior just in the astral planes and how it matches to the physical world. Watch the disconnects between people in the astral planes and in the physical world. Mine is, I'm going to overload myself with 50,000 projects and it will take forever to get all of them done. So I'll say Ravenclaw classes start in 4 weeks and then it's 8 weeks later. And that's okay. You guys learn to trust that in me. You know what you're not gonna fret about is that I'm gonna disappear and stab you from behind. So that's not my shadow. That's not my shade. My shade is not getting Hermione levels of magic up and running on the planet magically. Out of the blue, out of thin air. All right. This is the last piece of the video. when I do my work, and I write down everything, I can begin to accurately measure people, to accurately measure intent, to accurately measure willful, conscious willful intent, subconscious passive negligent intent. That's the bad version. That's like star thinking, because star doesn't actively do anything bad. That star isn't actively assaulting people in the astral. So she'll operate off of 100% yin through Netzach. I don't do anything, and everything is all force and no form. I will use whatever energy I can to produce an outcome that I want. All right, so that's star. So she'll collect knife rape and send it at people because it will account for the blockages that she needs to plow down to produce another magical outcome for, let's say, a healing client that pays her $2,000 for the day. I'm hearing that she does worse. The point is this. An ascended master, like witches, okay. Remember, Netzach is going to be closed. Witches begin at Tiferet. That's ascended master. Ascended masters have skills and clear, concise, honest recording ability. They don't have to be nagged. If you're on the Gabriel side, instead of the Tiferet Hufflepuff side, you're in the self-defense and the defense of the tree ascension. You are the protector of God. That's what a seraphim is. So you're a Gabriel level quality in the war on terror from the 8 billion robot Slytherins on the planet. So if you're in the FBI or in a law enforcement field, you're not allowed to prosecute people or even like investigate them based off of pseudo levels of intelligence, but you are allowed to do things like shadow grounding work. You can mess with your people consciously if you want, or have another person, an internal informant, mess with them. So you can record all of these people's thoughts and intention and send it to them. We know you're being watched, obviously. But you could say it's a psychic, or you could say it's the FBI or the DEA. Human trafficking, a lot of that. So ascended masters are on like wavelengths to produce active improvement on the planet. And many of it is vigilantism. So like, I'm not a legal law enforcement agent. So I can only receive instruction from the FBI and relay it back to them, what they are sending me in the astral planes. And then down the road, maybe we will come together and train. And maybe not. The point is this. my level of legal vigilantism is like minimal. I can only produce this shadow grounding work and stay within the law confinements without getting like contempt of court or arrested just because I'm having to listen to everybody else's criminal intent or thought. But I am freely able to record every single thing said and every single imprint that I was given. I'm also allowed to do Auror books. I am allowed to date and record my Auror books on other people, especially if I am continuously battling death threats towards my family from other witches that have been known to actively create harm. Star and Brooke already tag teamed me in the physical world and starved me to death. Took all of my money, produced no Tiferet for me ever in any light, and then left me to die. So they already did a physical level criminal provable activity. It's a grand theft, fraud, criminal levels of negligence. And then watched me starve to death as I begged for help. That's shadow. That's not mastery. That's not skill. That's not asset. Definitely not accountability or reliability or responsibility from them in any light. There's no mother. There is psychosis. There is alpha power consciousness. All right. When you're always under assault, it's very challenging to keep records or to dissect it because your brain is under fire all day long. In fact, your brain might not stop being under fire all day long until you hit something like Ravenclaw or Gabra at Ravenclaw mental body install level. That's where the psychosis diminishes because your Clippeth is now clean. So you're not running your own inner demons and battling others at the same time. Your yin is now producing Jedi blue if you're at the Blue Marks Bath ANR level. So it's creative. Your yin is now in a co-creative way, capacity or light. It's productive. When you're doing the shadow grounding, you're typing everything out. All those imprints matter. And you'll see your own imprints that need to get cleaned out, and you're like, ooh, that's like a skeleton in the closet. I don't like that at all. And then you go, well, I have to clean out mine, definitely. I would like my brain to be pure, virginal, at the highest operating capacity available. uncluttered, and producing spells that work. That'd be awesome. Instead of just like muscle building fake astral exercises. I think we got the point. Shadow grounding it's for yourself. Don't think it's for Star when you write down all the assault that Star is sending. She's gonna throw it out. She has repeatedly thrown it out from multiple sources. I think Kelly sent her a certified letter. A year ago. It's not for them. It's for yourself. Because when you're collecting the red pill Gabra, where every single astral imprint or thought imprint is real and accounted for, when you're an Akashic record keeper, it grounds you. Because you don't go, well, maybe they said that, maybe they didn't, and then walk around the planet like a naive bunny. Because at that point you should be in Hufflepuff. That's why people in Hufflepuff get killed. Because they don't listen to all the 5,000 astral imprint warnings coming in from the hell pits clippeth. They don't listen. And so then they get assaulted. It's hard to stab somebody in the back when they're doing shadow grounding all day long. And then publicly announcing it. How many wars did I prevent? How many targets or potential issues in the future did I prevent by publicizing all the shadow? I do not know. I'm not like an arrogant psycho, like arrogant schizophrenic. I'm gonna write everything down and know exactly what I did. So I don't know, it's an unknown. But at least it creates the table from which we can then work from. When you know what Star's issues are, you have it on record, then other Aurors can help you clean it up. You also know what to look for and what needs to get cleaned up and potential threats coming in from relating people. Like affiliate criminals. So Kelly is my affiliate criminal. She affiliates herself with me a lot. Right? So even 10 years down the road, let's say Kelly left. Because of the 3 years in this program, or 2 years, wherever we're at right now, Kelly's name will never be separated from mine in the eyes and ears of almost everyone. She has chosen to affiliate herself with me for the long run. And in the underworld, and then this is what you need to understand. Brooke left the lineage. But in the underworld, Brooke and Star are gang raping people behind their backs. One comes in from this angle and the other comes in from this angle, and then they tag team and sideswipe you. If one's not forcing channel on you from up front, the other is going to come up from behind and stab you. And in the underworld, that's all shadow. It doesn't matter the presentation we put publicly, because the underworld energy is real. I still got sideswiped by both Brooke and Star at the same time. And when you ground out the shadow around it, it diffuses. It's gonna piss them off too, because they're gonna go into like psycho levels of denial that they even have those issues. Ascended Masters don't have levels of denial about issues. They have responsive ability to work and clean in the moment. I have never seen anything as obnoxious as the two of them. They are both completely unavailable and run from any request that is sent, registered, or via email, or just shame posting on Facebook. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything left about shadow grounding we need to discuss, but I'll talk about Elijah for 1 second. I let a 14-year shadow imprint of a delusional, trumped up D-list celebrity movie star ruin my entire life, because I didn't have the ability, intent, or knowledge to write it all down and shove it in his face in the first year. The shadow grounding process, if I had done that and behaved in that way 13 years ago, would have changed my life. Instead, I had to learn in the most impossible, painful, humiliating ways ever. They will not stop. They will not stop their bad behavior. They will keep attacking, and they will go to deeper, darker levels than you can imagine. And it will only get worse until you learn how to take control of the situation and become accountable for it in a productive way. If I had known the trajectory that Elijah's astral self would have taken me over 14 years, I would have done this process 13 years ago. And I would have sat in front of his face until he read it and dealt with it. Instead, I was left to be tortured, starved, and then stabbed in grotesque levels of and I did that to myself. If your kid gets harmed in the ascension, it's because you didn't do the work. Know that. Kali Run out.